Good evening and welcome to World in Focus. From an alleged assassination plot on Russian soil to unexpected trouble about China's space mission to a climate summit dominated by fossil fuel lobbyists, we break down the headlines shaping the global conversation. Then in our deep dive, we examine the growing diplomatic firestorm between China and Japan and why a single comment about Taiwan has triggered one of the most serious exchanges between the two in years. Let's begin with the top stories of the day. Russia's security services claims it has foiled a Ukrainian attempt to assassinate a senior Kremlin official. According to the FSB, Ukrainian special services were planning to target an unnamed top-ranking official as he visited the graves of his relatives at a cemetery outside Moscow. The announcement comes as Kyiv mourns another deadly night of Russian aerial attacks, which Ukrainian officials say killed at least 4 people. The FSB has released few details, but the claim adds a new layer of tension to a conflict that continues to escalate far beyond the front lines. China's space program is dealing with a rare setback. 3 astronauts aboard the Shenzhou 20 mission are finally returning to Earth after a suspected debris strike delayed their journey home by more than a week. Their spacecraft reportedly suffered a cracked window after being hit by what authorities believe was orbital debris. The crew had already handed control of the Tiangong space station to a new team, but the extended stay highlights the growing hazards in Earth's increasingly crowded orbit, a challenge confronting every major spacefaring nation.
3 Chinese astronauts have been left stranded in orbit after their return capsule was struck by what officials believe was space debris. The trio have been aboard the Tiangong space station, the China's heavenly palace, since April. They were scheduled to return to Earth on November 5th, but their journey home has been postponed after damage was found on their capsule's hull. Officials at China's Manned Spaceflight Agency believe it was caused by a small piece of space debris. The astronauts' replacements who launched aboard Shenzhou 21 last.
At the COP30 climate talks in Brazil, a new analysis has revealed the scale of high-powered lobbying at the summit. More than 1,600 fossil fuel lobbyists have been granted access to the negotiations, outnumbering every national delegation except Brazil itself. According to the Kick Big Polluters Out coalition, 1 in every 25 summit participants represents fossil fuel interests. The finding raises serious questions about influence, transparency, and the credibility of the global negotiations meant to address climate crisis. Now to today's deep dive, a diplomatic flashpoint that is rapidly intensifying tensions across Asia. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has ignited anger in Beijing after suggesting that Japan could deploy its self-defense forces if China were to attack Taiwan. Her remarks made during a parliamentary session last week were framed around Japan's laws on survival-threatening situations, conditions under which an attack on an ally poses an existential crisis to Japan. Beijing's reaction was immediate and fierce. China's foreign ministry blasted the comments as egregious, and a Chinese diplomat in Osaka went further, reposting an article about Takaichi with a line interpreted by many as a threat, saying the dirty head that sticks itself in must be cut off. Japan swiftly protested the message, calling it highly inappropriate. China lodged its own protest over Takaichi's remarks, and the escalation continued with China's vice foreign minister summoning Japan's ambassador in Beijing, warning that Japan would bear all consequences if it intervened in the Taiwan issue. Meanwhile, Takaichi has reportedly refused to retract her comments, arguing they are consistent with Japan's existing security stance. But China's foreign ministry has publicly warned Japan to stop playing with fire, calling an interference in Taiwan an act of aggression. The sharp exchange reflects not only current geopolitical tensions but deep-rooted historical grievances, from 19th century conflicts to Japan's wartime actions in China during World War II. Those wounds remain a sensitive backdrop to every diplomatic dispute. The controversy also marks a departure from Japan's long-standing strategic ambiguity on Taiwan. Historically, Japanese leaders avoided publicly linking Taiwan to national security decisions. Takaichi, however, has taken a firmer line, shaped by her close ties to former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and her hawkish stance on Beijing. Japan is also deepening security cooperation with the US and boosting its defense spending, shifts that China views with growing concern. Beijing is especially sensitive about any foreign commentary on Taiwan, which it sees as part of its territory. It has repeatedly accused Tokyo of interfering in its internal affairs, and this latest episode plays directly into that tension. As China ramps up its military presence around the island and Japan strengthens its regional alliances, both sides find themselves on a diplomatic collision course. For now, neither country appears willing to soften its language, and with Taiwan at the center of Indo-Pacific's most delicate geopolitical fault line, this war of words may be an early sign of deeper fractures to come. So that's all in World in Focus for today. Follow the Finance 360 for more.